Hello, welcome back to Majestic Grace Bible School. Today we're reading Proverbs 23, and I'm Bishop Jane Mello. This is the Amplified Version, by the way. When you sit down to dine with a ruler, consider carefully what is set before you, for you will put a knife to your throat if you are a man of great appetite. Do not desire his delicacies, for it is deceptive food offered to you with questionable motives. Do not weary yourself with the overwhelming desire to gain wealth. Cease from your own understanding of it. Proverbs 28:20 says, "A faithful, right-minded man will abound with blessings, but he who hurries to be rich will not go unpunished." Okay, that was Proverbs 28:20. Let's look at 1 Timothy 6:9. And I'm going to start with verse 7. For we have brought nothing into the world, so it is clear that we cannot take anything out of it either. But if we have food and clothing, with these we will be content. But those who are not financially ethical and crave to get rich with a compulsive, greedy longing for wealth fall into temptation and a trap and into many foolish and harmful desires that plunge people into ruin and destruction, leading to personal misery. For the love of money, that is, the greedy desire for it, and the willingness to gain it unethically, is a root of all sorts of evil, and some by longing for it have wandered away from the faith and pierced themselves through and through with many sorrows. So it's the love of money. It's not money that's evil, but the love of money, the greed, is what's evil in God's eyes. Verse 5, we're back to 23:5. When you set your eyes on wealth, it is suddenly gone. For wealth certainly makes itself wings, like an eagle that flies to the heavens. Sorry, give me a second. Okay. Do not eat the bread of a selfish man, or desire his delicacies. For as he thinks in his heart, so is he. In behavior, one who manipulates. He says to you, "Eat and drink," yet his heart is not with you, but it is begrudging the cost. The morsel which you have eaten, you will vomit up, and you will waste your compliments. Do not speak in the ears of a fool, for he will despise the godly wisdom of your words. Do not move the ancient landmark of the boundary of the property, and do not go into the fields of the fatherless to take what is theirs. For their Redeemer is strong and mighty. He will plead their case against you. But apply your heart to discipline and your ears to words of knowledge. Do not withhold discipline from the child. If you swat him with a reed-like rod, applied with godly wisdom, he will not die. In other words, don't beat him, but spank him. There's a difference. One is done out of love, one is done out of wrath. You shall swat him with the reed-like rod, and you will rescue his life from Sheol, the netherworld, and the place of the dead. Verse 15, my son, if your heart is wise, my heart will also be glad. Yes, my heart will rejoice when your lips speak right things. Do not let your heart envy sinners who live godless lives and have no hope of salvation, but continue to live in the reverent, worshipful fear of the Lord day by day. Surely there is a future and a reward, and your hope and expectation will not be cut off. Listen, my son, and be wise, and direct your heart in the way of the Lord. Do not associate with heavy drinkers of wine or with gluttonous eaters of meat. So let's look at the references here. We have Isaiah 5:22. Isaiah 5:22 says, "Woe, judgment is coming to those who are heroes at drinking wine, and men of strength in mixing intoxicating drinks." And let's look at the next one here. Luke 21:34. Luke 21:34 says, "But be on guard so that your hearts are not weighed down and depressed with the giddiness of debauchery and the nausea of self-indulgence and the worldly worries of life. And then that day when the Messiah returns will not come on you suddenly like a trap." So in other words, don't be drunk. Don't get weighed down with depression or the worldly worries. When the Messiah returns will not come on you suddenly, because you'll be prepared for his return. Let's see. And then we want to also go to Romans 13:13. Well, maybe not. How about Ephesians 5:18? Ephesians 5:18 says, "Do not get drunk with wine, for that is wickedness, corruption, stupidity, but be filled with the Holy Spirit and constantly guided by him." So get intoxicated with the Spirit of the living God, where you'll have power. The Spirit of the living God, where he will give you direction and wisdom and guidance, rather than going to a bottle to try to, sometimes we drink to try to hide from our worries and our stresses, but instead, get filled with the Holy Spirit. Okay, let's go on. We're on verse 21. "For the heavy drinker and the glutton will come to poverty, and the drowsiness of overindulgence will clothe one with rags. Listen to your father who sired you, and do not despise your mother when she is old, but buy truth and do not sell it. Get wisdom and instruction and understanding. The father of the righteous will greatly rejoice, and he who sires a wise child will have joy in him. Let your father and your mother be glad, and let her who gave birth to you rejoice in your wise and godly choices. My son, give me your heart, and let your eyes delight in my ways." Verse 27, "For a prostitute is a deep pit, and an immoral woman is a narrow well. She lurks and lies in wait like a robber who waits for prey, and she increases the faithless among men. Who has woe? Who has sorrow? Who has strife? Who has complaining? Who has wounds without cause? Whose eyes are red and dim? Those who linger long over wine, those who go to taste mixed wine. Do not look at wine when it is red, when it sparkles in the glass, and when it goes down smoothly. At the last, it bites like a serpent and it stings like a viper. There is a really powerful visual of what alcohol will do to you. It actually opens the doors for the serpents to come and to destroy your life. That's why they call it spirits. They call alcohol spirits for a reason. You open the door to yourself when you're getting drunk with wine. Now, yes, the Bible does say take a little wine for your stomach, but that's like taking it like medicine, not getting drunk. Okay, verse 33, your drunken eyes will see strange things, and your mind will utter perverse things, untrue things, and twisted things. And you will be as unsteady as one who lies down in the middle of the sea, and as vulnerable to disaster as one who lies down on the top of a ship's mast, saying, they struck me, but I was not hurt. They beat me, but I did not feel it. When will I wake up? I will seek more wine. When will I wake up? I will seek more wine. I don't know about you, but I have seen the effects of alcohol on the body. I've seen people die way before their time because they allowed alcohol to take over their life. Starting out with one drink, thinking, oh, it's no big deal, and then another. And pretty soon they couldn't stop drinking. It sucks you in, it destroys your life. So may I just reiterate this, that do not get drunk with wine, but use wisdom. Use wisdom when you're trying to search out money. It says here, don't be greedy. Don't try to find ways like robbing or stealing or in just dishonesty, trying to take money from others, but rather work hard. Ask the Lord to bless you. Ask Him to give you witty ideas and invention. He wants to. In fact, the word says that He gives you the ability to create wealth, and He adds no sorrow to it. Means He doesn't add toil and He doesn't add striving and stress to it. But He gives you that ability so that you can take care of yourself and so that you can give to the poor and to the needy. God is so good to us. I hope this blessed you today. See you in the next class.